Hello, everybody. My name is Ahmed Jabara. I'm from the School of Computer and Cyber Sciences of Augusta University. This work is about SimplyHover tool that is meant to improve the else statements comprehension. So in this talk, I will be using the unsplit current method taken from the JEdit open source project to demonstrate our tool features. So imagine that we are required to comprehend this method. Among other things that we will need to understand is the else blocks. And this is exactly the focus of this work. So in this program, we have three places where the else statement occurs: line 35, line 28, and line 23. So what we need in order to understand an else statement. So first of all, we need the condition of the if counterpart of the specific else that we are trying to understand. We need to negate that condition. All of this happens in the developer's mind, and this task becomes very challenging when the if condition is compound and it is not so simple. The spatial distance is large because then it is not sure that we recall the if condition. And the last thing is applying negation, get a simpler condition. So our tool comes to deal with all of these challenges. So it is a plugin for the Eclipse IDE. It has been developed to improve comprehension of else statements for Java programs. It works when developers hover over else, and in this case, something very similar to this figure is presented. And it also appears in the main toolbar in case the developer wants to make changes in the preferences of the tool. So now we move to the SimplyHover tool features. The first one is achieved by simply hovering over else statement. This opens a window with the condition that leads to this specific else. In this example, the condition of the if is x greater than 5, and it was presented in this window. It is important to emphasize that the condition is not derived from the nearest if that matches else, but rather it is taken from the farthest if at level 0 that leads to the else. So the tool will present an aggregated compound condition from the first if all the way to the else being hovered. In this slide, we present another example for this feature taken from the JEdit project. Hovering over else in line 35 will bring the condition from the if in line 2 and present it with not preceded that condition. Hovering over the else in line 28, the tool brings the condition from lines 2 and from lines 18 because this is the path that leads to else. Notice that the negation has been applied to the second condition only because the first one should be true to get the else, to get to the else being hovered. And here, in the third example, the else in line 23, the path that led to this else passed through three conditions where just the last one is negated. Now, hovering over the presented negated condition, okay, will lead us to the second feature. In this case, the tool will try to simplify that condition by applying the not operator on that condition. So in this example, the not x greater than 5 will be simplified into x less than or equal to 5. Now we present an example from JA. As you can see in line 35, the tool initially presents the negated condition, then it simplifies it. So the condition not split pane not equal to null becomes split pane is null. The other example in line 23 has a compound condition with 3 conditions where just the last part was simplified. If the developer thinks that he can do better than the tool, he always can provide his own simplified version of the given condition by hitting the icon of the tool in the toolbar. Okay, so simplification is based on the number of logical operators and the level of difficulty of these operators. The tool allows the developer to configure the operator's difficulty, again, by hitting the icon in the toolbar. The next feature is setting the else level. In large code, else can be reached through a long path of if-else pairs. As we said earlier, the tool aggregates all conditions all the way from the first if at level 0 to the else being a hover. For example, the else in line 23 aggregates conditions from lines 2, 18, 21, then to the else. This is the default of our tool. To change that, we hit the tool icon in the toolbar to get the preferences window where we can change the else level. So now we change it to B2. Now hovering again on else in line 23, we get just the conditions from lines 18 and 21. Note that the condition from line 2 was removed. These are the main features of our. So to conclude, large if else block, okay, may span many pages, and then spatial distance between if else can be very large, and the condition that leads to else can also be complex. SimplyHover 2 brings to the else statement the distant conditions and helps to simplify them. Thank you.